Let's ride!
Zen's price. We don't deserve this. We've done nothing wrong. I'm beginning to think our clan's just cursed. Driven from our home, then we find a new place to settle, only to have the very earth itself rise up against us. It's not fair. I'm from Clan Drilladan. Undead attacked our village weeks ago. We fled here and found this place just abandoned. No one here. It seemed perfect, so we settled in, and then these stone men, the Hollow, just burst from the ground and attacked. Yes, we're no strangers to battle, but these Hollow, they're unstoppable. Strike one down and another comes forth. Please, if you are as able as you look, Indana still fights to drive them back. She needs help, and fast. I wonder if you weren't sent by Ifre herself. I hope so. We can't let these Hollow drive us away. We have to hold this ground. We have nowhere else to go. To the north, Drilladan Pass. Our clan has lived in that part of the Valenwood for longer than even our elders could remember. The Altmer came in and built Marbrook not long ago, but we stayed. Until the dead came. Hundreds of them. I don't know, and now that they're far behind us, I don't care. We've found a new home now. We must defend it or die trying.
Well met. If you're made of flesh and bone, I'm calling you a friend. These abominations, the Hollow, they've killed our Treefane and a dozen others. What in oblivion are they, and how do we get rid of them? Can you help us? I was afraid you'd say that. And all we know for sure is that the stony bastards are coming from the ground. I was thinking of trying to collapse their holes, but I need someone to defend me while I do it. We're going where the holes are. There are a few big ones they're coming from. Collapsing them may not stop the Hollow completely, but hopefully it'll at least...
Roll if you can! twit!
Slow him down. Quickly, we should get to the clan hold fast.
You know, I like to think I'm agreeable.
Children of the forest, these grounds are forbidden to you. I warn you again. Leave now or suffer the consequences.
We'll defend our new home to the death. Come back here, you stony bastard!
Get back, you betcha! The enemy is this way! Would it kill them to run away? Well, no, I guess it wouldn't. Maybe they should try that. Heck, I hope you're watching.
Let us speak. I can explain what is happening here. Perhaps you can be more reasonable than this, Bosma. These grounds are forbidden. Allowing them to settle here would threaten the health of the Valenwood. If they do not leave, we will purge them with the forest like a destructive rot. No. There is no alternative. These people must leave. Know that this is not our will. We would not harm anyone of our own accord. we would let them stay. But our directives are not self-determined. They were ingrained when we were created. I do not know. We were created by the Wilder King. Perhaps these were his directives, or perhaps they just come from the forest. Regardless, we are here to ensure no one settles in this area. I must emphasize to both you and these Bosmer that we did not desire this duty, nor did we take any joy in it. But we cannot act against our directives. The only way one might circumvent this is to destroy us, and that would be very difficult to do. Yes. It does not violate my directives to inform you that destroying me would effectively render all the hollow in this area harmless. I have no desire for self-preservation, but know that such an act would do irreversible harm to the Valenwood. Very well, but my directives will make this difficult.
Was tired of walking anyway. All right, not quite for mummy. Can never have enough of that. Don't like your odds.
Our scouts say the Hollow have stopped fighting. Some have crumbled into dust, others have simply wandered off. I trust this means you destroyed. There's no way I can properly thank you for what you've done. This is the first good luck my clan's had in months. This means we can stay here and start over. Wherever you go, and whatever you do, you'll always be a champion of the Drillidon. I have to admit, I do have some doubts now. But we'll petition the Wilder King for an audience. When he hears of our plight, I know he'll confirm that we can settle here. He'll make sure...
Have you heard? A high elven woman named the Lost returned Ivea to the Somerset Isles.
This is not safe.
Now is not
Finders
the time.
keepers, as they say.
My gratitude.
Much appreciated.
Don't like trouble.
Well,
that someone drove the wood orcs away from Bramblebreach.
This one heard the same. Heard they...
Off we go!
Call upon the powers. Please, don't bother me. This warding spell is quite complex, and if I don't finish it soon, there'll be nothing to stop the impending... You see the Spriggans? The Lurchers? They're here because they feel something coming. A terrible force. Daedra! I am the last priest of the Wooded Eye. We were charged with protecting this grove, but the wards have failed. We have failed. Intruders, greedy for power, broke the wards and attacked my fellow priests. I can't defend against the coming Daedric invasion alone. I need your help restoring the wardstones while I complete the warding spell, or Daedra will overrun this place. The wardstones surround the grove. They are powered by magicka. I'm a priest of the Wooded Eye. The last priest, from the look of things. Can't say I'm happy about it. Get here? It's always been here. How to explain? It exists, but to most people it blends seamlessly into the forest. You can't see it unless you're woven into the wards, or you figure out a way to break them. It'll make this grove once again invisible to all except those who know where to look, or who are woven into the warding. Oof, them. One of them looked like he'd seen livelier days. The other just looked shifty. Both Altmer, I think.
Nothing wrong with a little opportunistic harvesting. fighting! They're coming for us. Fair fetching price.
Too close. They nearly had us that time. The wards will keep the Daedra bound for now, but I'm still not sure how they managed to break them. We need to investigate Ilmyris. Ah, yes. Perhaps I wasn't exactly forthright. This grove exists to conceal the Cradle of Ilmyris, a library of secret knowledge. The Wooded Eye are its guardians. We serve the Woodland Man. You might know him as Hermamora. Yes, a Daedric prince. But the only reason the Daedra are bound here is to keep this place hidden. Ordinarily, they pose no threat. They broke their bonds when the intruders destroyed the wards, and now they threaten all of Greenshade. I do not know the mechanism myself. But Saramir, the caretaker of the Vault of Memories inside the Cradle of Ilmyrus, he'd know. If he's still alive. Yeah, well, this crisis transcends religious differences, don't you think? I want to secure the Grove. You don't want Greenshade to be destroyed. Binding the Daedra is good for both of us. The spirits of Daedra supply magicka to the wards. It's all very complicated. The important thing is that you find Saramir and learn how to bind the Daedra permanently.
Nice haul.
Come closer.
What's on the docket today? we find something interesting.
Such an interesting mortal. Your assistance might be just what I require.
So many names, so many faces. Such terrible understanding. You, I remember you. At least I think I do. Perhaps I just imagined it. That's all imagination is, you know. Memories of things that never happened. I am Gordhauer the Shaper, the Fire King Hadul, Haramir of Copper and Tea, the Flower King Nilichi, Umaril the Unfeathered, or I am just Saramir. It's becoming hard to know. I could tell you, but I've forgotten how. Or perhaps I never knew. Listen, the woodland man calls you, in the pool. It's best if you do not look directly. It looks back, you know.
I am Hermaeus Mora. The riddle unsolvable. The door unopenable. The book unreadable. The question unanswerable. I wonder if you understand why you're here. You will bind the Daedra. But you do not yet know what tendril of fate and fortune brought you into my grove. Into this ruined reflection of my library. In due time. But as to the Daedra, their magic are powers, the wards that protect my library. But binding them here is no small task. It requires a foundation of souls, each of different blood, from my servants in Tamriel. The intruders who broke the wards above unwittingly loosed the bindings here below. 4 of the souls broke free. In their confusion, they wander these halls seeking escape. Subdue them to restore the seal. I will reward your faithful service. Alien crystals impart memories directly to the reader. Overuse leads to a problem of capacity for most mortals. Willing or unwilling, all who strive to grow in skill and scope are my servants. Alien crystals impart memories direct.
want to hurt you, but now I'm going to. At this. Well, I should be proud of that. Never used to fight this much till I met you. You lead. About that, or should I? Wasn't worried. Were you worried?
servants reunited to their master. A conundrum. The Bosmer's soul escaped Ilmaris. We require a replacement. Sadomir, my caretaker, satisfies all requirements. One will die whether you refuse or not. Put the mad priest out of his misery, or I will choose another. Your rebellion is noted. And the consequences take shape. Orthanir is drawn to his death in Sadomir's place. Orthanir's soul seals the binding. But without a caretaker, the Daedra flee. It is temporary. The mountain is worn away, and the tides rise and fall. My memory is unerring as my word. In the crystal behind you, you will find knowledge you didn't know you sought. But
Not another memory! My mind is full!
Are you sure we're not wasting our time? How many people has this crystal killed now?
Patience. Rest assured, Elmiris contains the knowledge that Naaman's Shade will need.
No. The roots. They envelop the whole forest. And at the center... such pulsing... Oh!
Pulsing? The heart. At last. Let me see.
Wait! What are you doing? The crystal will drive you mad.
Magnificent! Such truth. Such clarity of sight. Everything leads to Hectorheim.
one by one, Naaman and Peladil expose my servants to the crystals, until their mortal minds cracked and groaned under the strain. What else? Power. They called it the heart of Valenwood. But no matter what it's called, it means the same thing. You have not yet earned that knowledge, which Naaman and Peladil took by force. They went to Hectorheim. Where you go is your choice.
side! Oh, I can't wait to write home about this.
Fan out.
Good eye. I never would have spotted that. Maybe I should have joined the buoyant armigers. Something... tired of walking anyway. In a big family, you have to know how to scrap.
fighting shoulders, maybe. Welcome to Ndarwe's Museum of Wonder and Antiquities. Normally I tell you to avoid touching anything, lest you defile my sanctum, but the necromancers that came in before you have already ruined everything. They are dreadful people. From the worm cult, I believe. They destroyed numerous priceless artifacts, ruined decor, killed my employees, then turned my employees into their employees by raising them as undead! I suspect they want to raise the centerpiece of my collection, the Ayleid warlord Kairan. People come here just to see him. Kairan worshipped Daedra and was generally an unpleasant fellow. Excellent as a museum attraction, terrifying as an undead. You have my thanks, stranger, truly. It's paramount that the Ayleid warlord is not raised. I need you to check his body and, if he has returned, deal with him. Of course, apologies. I'm a bit distracted at the moment. My name is Ndarwe. I'm a student of history, an avid collector, and the leader of the Merethic Society. We're a loose group of adventurers who specialize in acquiring antiquities. We'll go anywhere, do almost anything to collect history. Some governments are not so keen on the work we do, so we tend to operate as inconspicuously as possible. This is one of the necromancers. He made 2 mistakes. He had roughly the same height and build as myself, and he turned his back to me. If I can get the blood out, his clothes will make a fantastic...
What can I do for you?
Miss me?
You bastard! Are you a
minion of the Worm Cult. I beg you to stop this. You fools are destroying history with every... Thank the moons. We hid our most valuable items before the Worm Cult arrived. But there's no one to retrieve them. Won't be long before they burn this temple down around us. Please, if you can find the artifacts, take them to Orthuna. Good. This map marks where we've hidden them. Recover the relics and get them to Orthuna, who will know what to do with them. She should be at the entrance to this ruin. No matter how many of us perish when this day is over, our work must continue.
Don't like your odds.
find some higher ground. This can't be right. Who are you? You weren't on the excavation team. I am not trying to look like an Ayleid warlord. Wait. Arnanwen, a digger. Indarwe hired me to excavate Rulanyil's fall, and I was digging out some rooms. There was a cave-in. I'm dead, aren't I? I was afraid of that. There was a cave-in, and the next thing I know, I'm on a slab with a necromancer chanting over me. She didn't seem to notice, so I laid still and hoped she'd go away. She stayed for quite a long time. I don't understand. We were looking for an Ayleid warlord to put in Indarwe's historical collection, but we never found one. Please.
in Oblivion? You look good. And Darway will be thrilled to see you.
By the Empyrean light, the worm cult brought his spirit back, didn't they? And you led him here. It's my disguise. Just a way to blend into their ranks before I make my escape. Of course you found Nonwen. What did you think you would find? An alien warlord's body, intact? I looked for years and never found one. But my museum collection needed a centerpiece, and Nonwen was crushed in a cave-in, so I dressed him up. I realized that if the worm cult managed to raise Nonwen, my secret would be known. Which is why I sent you to stop them, for what good that did me. I hope I can trust you to keep your mouth...
Did I hear that correctly? You passed me off as an alien warlord?
Don't worry, I paid your family for the body.
You paid my... How long were you going to let people think I was a famous dead person?
You aren't getting any less dead, so somewhere around forever, I think. Look at it this way. Now you're dead and famous.
You mean you're going to keep doing this? Every day?
Yes. I'll have to hire a security staff, I think. We don't want any more surprise necromancers. Now go back to your body. I'll figure out what to do with you later.
This is worse than Oblivion. Strange that my clothes are made of the same substance as my ghostly form.
Anything I can do?
next time you're helping me with something.
What's that in your hands there? Seems you've been bitten. Let's see what you have here. Ah, very good. I'm glad these survived. You and Dulini have done Tamriel a great service by returning these to us. We'll rebuild the collection. You've done the Society, and by association, all of Tamriel, a great favor. Every piece the Merethic Society admits into our compilation must have aesthetic or historic significance, and elevate the prestige of the collection as a whole. We leave the archaeologists in the Mages Guild to fawn over potsherds and jewelry. We're collectors of lost relics. Some items we trade for on the black market, others we procure directly from ruins. We take our name from the Merethic era, the legendary age between the creation of Nirn and the start of the First Era. Every piece the Merethic Society admits into our compilation must have aesthetic. Borgus was a High King of Skyrim during the First Era. He died during the Wild Hunt of 369 in Valenwood and carried the horn at the moment of his death. Though the horn is in pristine condition, the Wild Hunt left no trace of Borgus's body. Aidan Durrani was an Altmer folk hero. According to history, he led the Durrani clan of High Rock against the Alessian Order of Cyrodiil. He appears in myths as the last king of a heroic line, a champion in the fight of Mur against men. Mansel Sesnet ruled Yokuda centuries before the Redguard came to Tamriel. His governance was brief but eventful, laying much of the structural groundwork later Redguard rulers would utilize. The Lost Fleet, or the All Flags Fleet, was an armada sent by the Colovian Emperor Bendu Olo to eliminate the invading Slode. The Slode were defeated, but much of the fleet vanished without a trace. Save this compass.
Off we go! Beck, I hope you're watching. Let's ride! Keep your guard up until you've got your footing. do it! don't want to hurt you, but now I'm going to. I use the bank. Off we go! Tired of walking anyway.
anchorite. You're as bothersome as that damn Dremora. No matter. The votive rune is placed, and now you die.
You brought this on yourself, Dagonist. Hey, you, with the glowing hands. We have something in common. If you're not a cultist. Damn these Waking Flame cultists. Bringing their Mehrunes Dagon madness to Fargrave. Their votive runes infect mortals with dark magic. I came to meet someone about all this when I spotted that cultist and my hands began to glow. Just like yours. This is Fargrave, a city in Oblivion with permanent and open connections to other realms. The cultists place those votive runes faster than I can destroy them, putting every mortal who lives here at risk. That's why I agreed to meet with the Dremora. Lyrinth the Dremora. She sent me a letter. Said the cult threatened Fargrave. Nern, too. She wanted my help, but I can't deal with that now. The votive runes are clearly the immediate danger. We should work together on this. I can pay. I need you to talk to my contacts. Madam Wim's establishment is here in the city. Initiate Teal'go meets me in the Burn, out in the Deadlands. See what they know about the votive runes and the cult's plans. Then meet me in the Fargrave Crafting Plaza. Really? All I know is that she's a Dremora who has an interest in the Dagon cult known as the Order of the Waking Flame. This is where we were supposed to meet, but all I saw when I got here was that cultist and the votive rune he was casting. No. The votives mess with mortal emotions, make everything more intense. Not sure why. Lyrinth said the magic in her letter would allow her to recognize me. I think that's what the glow was. If only I could get the Grasp to care about all this. The Grasp of the Stricture. They're an order of Daedra, mostly Dremora, who serve as arbiters and interpreters of the Stricture. A magical covenant that allows Fargrave to serve as neutral ground for all Daedra. They enforce the laws, to a point. Well, since mortals aren't bound to the Stricture, the Grasp pretty much ignores us. Unless we interfere with the Stricture in some way. As long as the cult and its votive runes only threaten mortals, the Grasp simply doesn't care. Is it? I hadn't noticed. Look, we only just met. If you turn out to be trustworthy, I'll tell you the strange tale. If not, well, we'll deal with that if it becomes necessary. Perhaps. And maybe it's just a fashion statement. Now, go talk to Madam Wim and Initiate Teal'go while I make my rounds. I need to check on my charges around the city. As a crossroads, it's natural for people from everywhere to wind up here. I check on the mortals of the city on a regular basis, help them as I can. That's why Wim calls me the Fool of Fargrave, because I care. And it's why I abhor the Dagon. Then you know the cult is evil. They appeared recently, proselytizing in the plazas. Then they started placing those votive runes. Some kind of prayer to Mehrunes Dagon. But it intensifies mortal emotions. The runes are dangerous. I know it. Madam Wim is a dark seducer who has her thumb on the pulse of Fargrave. Nothing happens here that she isn't keenly aware of. She deals in favors and information, for a price. And the more you seek her help, the more expensive her services become. Initiate Teal'go's a member of the Order of the Waking Flame. He was my friend before the cult recruited him. Turns out, Teal'go's had a change of heart. He's been providing me with inside information about where the cult plans to strike next. Madam Wim runs an establishment in Fargrave called the House of Wims. Just be careful. She enjoys getting her hooks in new arrivals. You'll find Initiate Teal'go in the Deadlands, an area known as the Burn. The Plaza of Portals will take you there. The Plaza of Portals is one of Fargrave's most important locations. A series of permanent gateways to other realms in Oblivion. One of those realms is the Deadlands, the domain of Mehrunes Dagon. Glow seems to have faded. For now.
Why won't you all just leave me alone?
Something terrible's about to happen. I just know it.
All of you, stay away from me! Stay away!
There. The grasp requests your aid. Mortal, you seem more capable than most. The grasp of the stricture has a task that you may be able to assist with. The apprehension of mortal criminals. I understand your kind enjoys material gain. I can pay you for your help. A band of mortal thieves tried to steal a large quantity of the drug known as Red Maiden. When I attempted to apprehend them, they ran to the Plaza of Portals and fled into the Sever. You must search the Sever for these criminals and bring them back to me. Their leader's name is Buck. He went through the portal last, and therefore should be easy to find. He is a cunning mortal, but he and the others cannot have gotten far. Return the criminals to Fargrave once you have apprehended them. I will take care of things from there. I require a foolish group of mortals, nothing more. They have been in Fargrave for a few years, always skirting the lines of the stricture and eluding the grasp. They are close friends and look out for one another. It makes them difficult to rein in. No, they have never been so bold before. Perhaps they grew bored of petty theft and being a nuisance. I could not say. Many of their transgressions have been too small for the grasp to interfere. Indeed, they will find it much less forgiving than Fargrave. If they manage to survive the lightning and the tearing winds, they will need to contend with the wildlife. The Sever is not a gentle place. Be cautious when you venture there. The grasp interprets the stricture. that which binds all Daedra and Fargrave. It keeps order by effectively turning the city into neutral ground. We are the law, to put it in your terms. We make sure citizens adhere to the strictures. Our influence does not extend beyond the dunes of Fargrave. The strictures are not concerned with the domain of the Prince of Destruction. They are now beyond my reach, but not yours. I find it hard to believe a mortal such as yourself is ignorant of such a substance. Your kind are always scrabbling for it. Red Maiden is a drug. When regularly ingested, it can anchor a mortal to Fargrave just as a pact with a Daedra would do. To prevent a sickness called the Drain, your mortal minds are not meant for the complexities of Fargrave. Occasionally, mortals experience decay. Some become violent, others begin to drool. Ultimately, they will succumb to it and die. Red Maiden is a rare commodity and difficult to produce. Mortals would tear each other apart for it if it was not strictly regulated. Not every mortal contracts the Drain, but many fear the very possibility and will do anything to acquire the drug.
Why am I cursed with such a task?
Another poor mortal succumbed to the power of the Daegonic votives. How unfortunate. But what's this? A new face? And what does Madam Whim always say? New faces bring new opportunities. Let's talk. Has anyone ever told you that you have an incomparable mien? Most in this celestial palanquin we call Fargrave have the barest patina on their auras. But you? I know multiple buyers who would pay top price for a soul like yours. Shall we trade? What? Poor Josette? She's one of my favorite regulars. At least she was, before the votives affected her. First, she became belligerent, then extremely melancholy. Now she's practically mindless. But tell me, darling, what brings you to Madam Whim's? She did she? All true, but I hate to brag. She's an unusual mortal, though, isn't she? Our darling of the alleys. And clever. She sent you so as not to increase her tab at the House of Whims. As a new customer, your first transaction is free. Ah, two topics on the lips of many a Fargravian. The Daegonists are mortal rabble with a fetish for destruction. The votive runes are prayers to their prince made manifest. Spells that seem to affect only mortals, like poor Josette here. An interesting question. Alas, I have no answer. But you're not the only newcomer to our fair city seeking such knowledge. My eyes about town tell me that Lyranth the Dromora has come to Fargrave. She's in the shambles, searching for Sister Seldina. You want more? I'm giving away an awful lot as part of your free sample, but I am feeling generous today. Sister Seldina leads the Daegonists here in Fargrave. She and Lyranth seem to have it out for one another, though I have yet to ascertain why. As the name implies, I trade in eccentricities and capriciousness. I buy and sell as impulse dictates. My establishment carries indulgences from across Oblivion. And information, of course, along with food, drinks, and an amenity for every appetite. Oh, the mortal on the floor? No, I don't believe so. The spell is quite potent. I suspect the votive runes have a darker purpose than simply elevating emotions and turning mortals into mindless husks. Pity the grasp refuses to investigate. The grasp of the stricture. They enforce law and order in Fargrave. The stricture is a covenant that binds all Daedra and allows us to operate somewhat in concert. Since mortals aren't bound by the covenant, the grasp tends to pay them no mind. An apt description, if somewhat inaccurate. They do enforce Fargrave's laws, but in ways that won't always be comprehensible to the limits of mortal understanding. Try not to commit any crimes in front of them, and they won't harass you. Probably. You came here without knowing, darling. How refreshing. Like an otherworldly conveyance, Fargrave personifies the existential concepts of transit or passage. It did start out as a strange nomadic realm, after all. That's part of the city. It means if you want to travel the myriad corridors of oblivion, there's no better launching point than fabulous Fargrave. In addition to our famous Plaza of Portals, the entire realm is littered with dimensional access ways. Plus, we have no prince. Without a prince to set the laws and manipulate Fargrave's reality, we're free to shape this city as we choose. The freedom that affords us is sublime. Plus, no prince means less chaos and violence in the streets, rogue cultists notwithstanding. Aren't they beautiful? One of our best features. No one is quite sure who or what they were, but legend has it they once carried the city from plane to plane. Hence the allusion to a palanquin. Is it true? Well, the skeletons are real enough. A personal query? That will cost extra, my darling. I am a Mazken, what your kind commonly call a dark seducer. Unlike many of my brothers and sisters, I use my charms to beguile and entice for knowledge and profit. I have no interest in violence. A terrible place. I urge caution if you decide to venture there. It's a warren of alleys, tenements, and ruins, hidden behind thick walls. Many mortals live there in the most appalling conditions, but it can also be a good place to conduct business. Oh, innocent mortal. The kind of business best engaged in, where the grasp of the stricture doesn't reach. It's a perfect location to hide a Dagonist cult, seeking to cause chaos and mayhem. I'm surprised our Darling of the Alleys didn't mention that. Darling of the Alleys, Fool of Fargrave, Woman in the Mask. Ever since the Anchorite arrived in Fargrave, she's gone out of her way to help the mortals cast upon our shore, and she asks for nothing in return. Pity I know so little else about her. Now, what should we do with Josette?
Aha. Ninzeru always attracts them, does he not? The curious, the irrepressible priors. You wish to know what Ninzeru can offer you in this house of Madame Whims, yes? Ninzeru has the tonic, living one. My golden panacea to make your insides shine. Of course, gold begets gold, living one. Unlike the Madam, Ninzeru provides no free samples. He will summon the prized substance from the most valuable of sources. Coming right up. The cleanse is...
He hates everyone.
You there. Come speak with me. Ah, my dauntless companion from the Clockwork City. Bounding from one mysterious realm to another, I see. This is fortuitous. I find myself in need of someone with your skills. I recently discovered that someone intends to auction off Mephalah's chief artifact, the Ebony Blade. I hardly thought such a thing possible, but I leave nothing to chance. As soon as I began making inquiries, House Hexos cancelled the auction. I am the foremost authority on Daedric artifacts and the greatest mage of our era. So yes, I'm quite confident they're trying to hide the weapon from me. A fool's errand. If you choose to assist me in finding the blade, I will pay you handsomely. Our first order of business is investigating the auction house. It's just there, near the Nereid's fountain. Gather testimony, correspondence, anything you can. When you've discovered enough, meet me in the market near the Shamble's north entrance. It is an artifact of the dread teacher Mephalah. At first glance, it resembles a katana carved from obsidian. But I assure you, it is far more than a simple sword. It is the lady's malice in physical form, a life-devouring instrument of murder. Do I detect some suspicion in your voice? If we recover the Ebony Blade, I will do what I do with all the dangerous relics I acquire. Keep it safe. I assure you, there is no one better equipped to safeguard a terror like this. Ha! Rest is a luxury the ambitious cannot afford. My business in the Clockwork City, while important, accounts for only a fraction of my grand design. I have interests in realms across the Orbis, including this one. On my person? No. I know better than to wander the streets of Fargrave with an artifact like that jangling around in my pocket. But it is quite safe. I gave Seal my word I would keep it out of the Daedra's hands. I always honor my agreements.